Hello everyone, another video here on the channel. I ask those who aren't subscribed yet to subscribe. Leave a like if you enjoy the content, share it. And for those who want and are able to contribute a symbolic monthly amount to the channel, just click or tap the join button and always feel free to use the comment section. Today we're going to talk about ego validation on Instagram. Another nuance of this social network, which is one of the major agents of behavioral change and the man-woman dynamic in modern times. Always remembering that there are many causes to consider if you want to explain the whole picture. Instagram is just one of the many nuances, and we are breaking down several of these already identified nuances, as well as those that will be identified in the future throughout the existence of this channel. Always based on the stimuli and rewards in the environment, which is the main focus for which I created this channel, and I will always continue to create content around this topic. So, for you to understand ego validation on Instagram, it's first necessary to realize that it encompasses a huge number of women and some men as well, obviously actually quite a few men, but in this video I want to talk more specifically about female behavior in this context. Because here's the thing, that guy who's blue pill, the simp, or who's just starting to learn about these topics, might very well argue, but everything you're saying makes sense, but it's only a small number of women who are really beautiful, who have tens of thousands of followers, who are digital influencers. There are plenty of normal girls out there. That's where the trick lies. That's the problem, the big problem. This issue with Instagram, ego validation, and the stimuli and rewards in this virtual environment, this great human sugar that is Instagram, is drawing in many ordinary women who, if this tool didn't exist, and going even further, even before smartphones, were just normal people. I'm not saying they were saints, honorable, or worthy of all praise, because humans, both men and women, are full of flaws. But Instagram is a very powerful stimulus in society, and it has transformed many people who didn't have much of a problem with exposure, or who even thought it was silly, but who saw the power you have when you post a more sensual photo. By the way, let me say once again, since a lot of new people are coming to my channel, if you happen to stumble upon this video, I don't make moral judgments. Those who are already subscribed are tired of hearing me say this in almost every video. This channel doesn't make moral judgments. Here we analyze things from a different perspective, okay? So when I expose, explain, and talk about certain behaviors here, it's not about morality, it's only about the serious consequences these behaviors can have on collective behavior and society as a whole. So women who want to post bikini photos, who want to be sensual, do whatever you want, I really don't care about that. Most of my subscribers too, from what I've seen in the comments, they don't care either. We're just analyzing here the serious consequences and what is happening to women after they turn 30. Those who remain single, and there are more and more single women in society, because the level of dopamine, the level of desire, the target that women want today, the ideal man that women look for in a country like Brazil is becoming increasingly scarce and almost impossible to find. So you have a lot of average women out there, ordinary girls, girls who didn't have a problem with, who didn't think so highly of themselves, who didn't have these insane demands before this tool became popular and changed things. Because I've already said here in other videos that I don't believe Instagram was created with such a Machiavellian purpose, or that it was something so harmful back in 2012 or 2013 when it first appeared. Actually, Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, was launched in 2010, but it really became popular around 2012, 2013. Here in Brazil, especially in 2013, after it came out of, when it was an app only for iOS, and then after it became available for Android as well, that's when it really took off. But it was actually something quite minimalist, something that people who appreciated alternative photography used, and it didn't have things like stories, influencers, or advertising, none of that. It wasn't something so aggressive. So as it gradually became a tool where you could expose your life 24 hours a day with effects and filters, and where an average looking girl could become extremely beautiful thanks to these additional features that were integrated into Instagram, you started to see problems in society. Why is that? When a girl posts a photo from a certain angle in a certain outfit and so on, it started to normalize certain behaviors. Since there are a lot of gado in Brazil, but always remembering that more and more these gado men. For those who don't know what gado means, Lupilzão, the vast majority already knows, but in case someone, it's not just, gado doesn't, nowadays there's a political connotation to it that people talk about. The left has taken over this term, which originally came about to make fun of guys who would suck up to women, living their lives just for women. It's different from just liking women, which is absolutely normal, and we all do. I'm speaking here for the men and my subscribers, but it's another thing to live your life for that, to be that famous slave to your libido and do everything just for women. So this term originally came up to make fun of those guys, and later the left ended up taking it over to mock Bolsonaro's voters. But anyway, in this context I'm talking about, it means that guy who's always reacting, always sending messages. Every time a pretty girl posts a story or a photo on her feed, he's there commenting beautiful. He keeps pestering, bothering the woman while she couldn't care less about him. So women, while these guys keep orbiting around them, the women don't care about them at all. They might throw them a crumb here and there, and some of these guys will end up just being friends, stuck in the friend zone and so on, something most men already know. But this is good for the woman's ego. While she hasn't managed to hook up or spend a night with the alpha, the standout, the handsome guy, or the millionaire she's trying to attract with those photos, having a bunch of guys flattering her ego is good for her. It feels good. It keeps feeding her during those moments when... Because here's the thing. What is the cycle of the modern woman today? The average, the pretty, and the very beautiful on Instagram. In the case of single women, she will keep trying to show off her beauty as much as possible, mixing in some silly little phrases with cheap sophisms, because we have a movement in society today. It's somewhat hidden, but not that hidden, in which they want to say the following. They want to present themselves in such a way that men will think a certain way, but even the simps aren't really falling for it anymore because it's so ridiculous that everyone can see it makes no sense, and it's even become a meme. Women are on this wave of, I don't want to be just a pretty face, I'm not just a pretty face. So they mix these extremely sensual photos, angles, and filters with some little quotes about self-reflection, self-love, and resilience. That's already pretty overdone, right? Mystical quotes too, shamanism, astrology, and so on. Another very interesting tool that I see a lot of women using on Instagram is this. They open those question boxes. You've definitely seen some friend or acquaintance of yours do this. So they open it up, like, ask me anything, what do you want to know? Or sometimes it's even a self-employed professional like an architect, lawyer, doctor, and she opens it up for people to ask something, nutritionist, something related to her field. But there will be a bunch of, sometimes it's even the woman herself who comments on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bunch of guys who go there and comment anyway. Oh, beautiful, I don't know what beautiful, single. I'm amazed at how many guys keep asking, are you single, beautiful, and so on. And then, of course, she's going to respond to that. She's going to share it so everyone can see that she's desired, that she needs to show this. And her ego is being validated there, both on a personal level because she reads someone calling her beautiful, and then she's going to post it for her followers to see, and for her female followers to her friends to see, like, look, this is a woman who is desired and all that. So, oh, and usually guys also ask, what does a man need to have to please you and all that? Then she can make that same old pathetic list that women always mention. If you ask a woman what her ideal man is like, she's going to describe a servant. He has to be affectionate, faithful, hardworking, and so on and so forth. I bet they're actually attracted to the cold and insensitive jerks. What Miguel from Attitude Alpha says is actually really interesting. A woman, she wants a tamed alpha. She wants everything that the jerk has, preferably that he's handsome and rich, and that she can tame him so he shows some beta behaviors, like being romantic with her and all that. In other words, she wants the best of both worlds, which is practically impossible to get. The guys that modern women desire, folks, you need to understand this once and for all. Why doesn't the math add up? Why are we heading toward a huge group of women left on the shelf? Where only a lucky few, I've already said I estimate at most 1 to 5% of single women will still do well in this love roulette, because the guys they want don't want to date anyone, let alone these women who are riding the carousel. So obviously they're not going to be able to catch these guys. They want guys who are hooking up with women from all over Brazil, who are really taking advantage of feminism and this sexual liberation. So there's no reason for them to want, there's no reason for the guys, just to correct myself, for the guys to want to date anyone, because for them things are going great. And actually you don't even need to be a rich, handsome, and popular player for the environment to be good for you. If you're slightly above average, you're already in Brazil's top 20%. It doesn't take much here, so if you're a little better looking, fit, and earn a bit more than average, you'll have women in abundance. And if you also apply the red pill, or even if you don't, knowing that nowadays it's very risky to date, get married, have kids, or live together with a woman, you have to think a million times before doing any of that, especially when it comes to living together and having children. As for dating, even then you might try to take a leap of faith, but there's only about a 5 to 7% chance it'll work out. Anyway, I don't recommend it, but if you want to get into that, think it through very carefully and be very selective. So you don't even have to be at the very top to see that if you know how to play the game and avoid unnecessary risks, things will work out for you too. And before we wrap up the video, there's another behavior I've been noticing among women. Bruno from Social Arts points this out really well. I think he's one of the best, if not the best, Brazilian YouTuber who explains this concept of positive and negative poles. There are several fantastic guys out there. Dom Sandro, Corujo do Carvalho, Hakun, who's no longer on YouTube, and who, in my opinion, is the supreme master of the red pill. But anyway, you also have Miguel from Estudio Alpha, Junior Masters, and Cayão from Desenvolvimento Alpha. Leo Leiser, Zion, anyway, there are a lot of guys with masculinist epiphanies, a lot of exceptional guys out there, each with their own perspective on life. But I think Bruno explains this concept of positive and negative poles really well. When a woman is really into a guy and is seeing him, usually she's the one asking for pictures, posting stories on Instagram. She's the one posting that she's with the guy, that she's having dinner with him. In short, she's the one showing these kinds of behaviors. Now, when you're in a relationship and you're the one posting more photos, you're the one asking for pictures, you're the one pushing for relationship status, always asking, "Oi, so are we going to date or not, my friend?" You're one step away from the edge of a cliff. So why is that? Because when a woman has her ego validated by the man, she's already won. So there's no reason for her to keep trying to compete for something she's already won. Now, when she needs your image, needs to keep posting everything to have her ego validated by society, because Instagram, the main driver of Instagram, is this social validation of the ego, then man, you're in a more comfortable position. So it's much less of a problem if you're in a relationship where you're the one she feels the need to show off. So if you're the trophy, I'm not saying that's good or anything like that. Ideally, nowadays, to avoid any risk at all, it's best not to get involved in a serious relationship. It's something much more casual or occasional, you know? For those who, if you keep getting involved with women, it's very hard to stop. Personally, I still have a lot of occasional flings, but when it comes to something serious, I run away like the devil from the cross. So if you're still the object, if you're the trophy, if you're the one available, we're in a more comfortable situation. You have less chance of getting screwed because zero risk doesn't exist. What does exist, as I said in my last video, is damage control. So to wrap things up, here's today's message. Pay close attention to this Instagram behavior: question boxes, photo angles, filters, women wanting comments. Every time a woman gets dressed up, even if she's just going out for a snack at a bar with her friends, she'll post a selfie, she'll keep putting up stories to show that she's all dressed up. So it's really something unhealthy. Instagram truly is one of the agents, one of the many causes out there. It's something that has made people completely stupid and dumb. So especially women, they're addicted to this big human sugar. And whatever they do, finished a workout, went for a walk, walked the dog, they have to post it so a bunch of betas can come and comment, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. These betas, their level is so low, but so low, not just in looks and money, but also in terms of masculinity, that I believe not even when these women are 40 years old will they accept these guys. So that's today's message. A big hug to everyone.